Ladies and gentlemen of the world, this is Chief OBDK of Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about so many issues here at the New Harbor Studio in Washington, D.C. Allow me to introduce to you my co-host, my dear brother, Joel Spears. Welcome, my brother.
Welcome, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here and ready to get started.
We're ready to bring excitement to your house. We're ready to talk about political issues. We're ready to talk about family destabilization. We're ready to talk about education. We're ready to talk about history. We're moving on to the economics. My dear brothers and sisters, we will be right back. Stay tuned.
What's going on? I just said it.
Have you seen the state of my car? I mean, like, what if I take her out one day and then she ends up pushing me back here from Double Line Bridge?
I saw Rachel talking to another man. She's dating my brother Henry. Why would she be with another man?
I need time to process all these things because I'm sure it's going to happen again, so I need space.
You're breaking up with me?
Is this real?
I'd love to go. Yes. I was going to buy the ticket myself.
You see, propose again. I don't want a pity yes from you.
It's not a pity, yes.
You freaked out. Why?
Is there any problem?
No, it's fine. It's just cold.
Okay, I'll just use my battery to start it for you.
No. So it's not the battery. It's the Kid, what happened at your engagement?
But please don't put that. It's not a
Be a day of your life. Like, make this make sense to me.
Let's talk about it here at the New Harbor Studio. My co-host, Joel.
Yes, sir.
There's so much going on, but I would like us to see. God, there's so much we could talk about. What about education in Maryland? Let's just focus slightly on Maryland. What's going on? That these young people are graduating from high school and cannot even read or write.
Yes. If we were talking about a country, we'd be talking about a failed state. I think that the education in Maryland, which is kind of pandemic throughout the country, is to the point where they are no longer issuing high school diplomas. They're giving certificates of attendance.
Can you imagine that? No more high school diplomas, just a certificate, a piece of paper.
Now, mind you, you can still get a decent education in this state. It's just becoming harder and harder. The expectations of the students and the expectations of the school system is they're saying that the kids can't learn. They're coming up with all kind of excuses as to why Johnny can't read and write and can't actually make change at the cash register. So that's the crisis that's before us. I think that we have to figure out how we're going to actually get back to the 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. They're doing everything, and they're coming up with all these so-called solutions that are just really...
And it's not going anywhere.
No, that's...
I kind of remember going to the store, and with this high school lady, young girl, who cashed out all the items that I purchased. And it came to $17.03. I said, okay, I got a couple dollars coming my way. So I gave her a $20 bill. Lo and behold, she gave my change, $17.03. Now, the goodness in my heart, I could have just walked away with it. But I said, baby girl, my dear young lady, here's your money back so your drawer don't get shortchanged. You gave me the wrong change.
Well, yeah.
What's the attribute for that? What? I mean, he just kind of...
There's in the way that I've seen it as an educator, is that the thing that is saving the U.S. educational system is immigration. We're bringing people from other parts of the world who still have the traditional education systems. They're going into the graduate programs at our universities. They're the ones who are turning out the advanced technologies. Many of the Ivy League schools are reporting that they're unable to recruit American-born students, and the only way that they can survive, the sciences can survive, is through immigration. I forget the name of the program. I think it's called the B-1 visa, if I'm not mistaken. Without that, I think that our scientific culture would crash.
We're going to be talking more in details on this subject of education. And we want you to be part of it. We want you to call in when we give you the phone number to call in. We want some of you to come in, the educators who will invite you. What can we do to solve this problem? Whoa, my God, we're in trouble. In terms of the educational system, we are in absolute serious trouble.
Yes, that is the foundation upon which we advance. And right now, many of us are concerned about, there's too many people coming into the society who are illegals, whatever. Mind you, the real problem is not the immigration of illegal or undocumented people. The issue is whether we actually have a competent workforce. Right now, you will see people on the workforce who literally have come into this country recently because we cannot get Americans who have the capability or the desire to work these jobs.
So we're going to have to move into what do we do now? Because those workforce coming from outside are going directly into the bank. We'll be back.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is your girl, BC Fana, with Africa in Demand. Listen, I'm excited for you guys to see our new show. It's going to be entertaining. We're bringing you amazing guests, and it's like a show like you've never seen before. So I want you to join me to watch our show, Africa in Demand, your gateway to everything Africa. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Africa in Demand, and we are going to entertain you. Stay tuned.
We're going on. We're here, and we're going to talk about economics.
Economics is a complicated thing. I think we're talking about also really the what's been coming up in the news lately is the exploitation of African resources. Nobody wants to talk about it. It seems like we're starting to find out. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "You do realize that that cell phone, the Apple product that you have in your hand,
correct,
basically was exploited child labor, all sorts of things that we would sit back in modern society and say, oh, well, that's not going on now. Well, it is.
Child abuse.
Yes, you have people who are literally losing their lives trying to get the minerals that go in to operate your cell phone. You don't hear anybody talking about that, so they're cherry picking the things that they want to talk about. They want to get rid of gasoline cars. They want to get rid of it, but talk about their iPhone and their computers, and all of a sudden that same group gets quiet.
Gets real quiet.
So it's unfortunately something that has to be addressed. Are we going to continue to exploit these resources in the land that isn't really indigenous to us? If so, then they have to then be brought to the table. Those people should be given the respect that the miners in the United States and all around the world have fought hard for their own safety. Why aren't we doing that now with what's going on in that part of the world?
So we're saying to African people, it's your natural resource. It belongs to you. You need to make sure that the people that are coming to the continent of Africa, because it's happening all over, that they are just visitors. They're not there to steal anymore. Joel, we got to do something about that exploitation of the natural resources in Africa? What can we do?
Well, right now everybody's quiet about it because it's an awkward situation. Are we willing to pay more for our technology? Are we willing to do so at the expense of the lives of children and people who are living in what we call the third world?
Third world, my foot. It's actually the first world, because without those natural resources, clearly, my friend, what you see as Europe will not be there.
Well, yeah, we're looking at France. I mean, recently France is starting to puff its muscles up, all upset about what's going on with the what they call the civil unrest. But I think it's more the Africans saying, "Hey, this is our land. This is our politics. This is our resources. If you want them, then you'll have to pay for them."
You know, some of us may not have heard that much about it, but Burkina Faso, Niger,
Yep.
Mali, these are places where natural resources is in abundance. Morocco, Nigeria, it's unbelievable. South Africa.
The coffee that we drink, the cocoa in our hot chocolate, the diamonds, the gold, the oil, all these sort of things that literally control the dominance of the world, or the quality of life that we now lead, are in and under the feet of those people. Should they be brought to the table? Should they be treated as human beings, or do we continue the legacy of abuse of the resources and the people?
Well, I'll tell you something. All those diamonds and gold, including the one that the Queen Elizabeth put on her head, that belongs to us, and we want it back. All of those natural resources that they're taking, we want to stop them.
I think the National Museum of in England, I do not remember the name of it,
Right.
but they were quite embarrassed when some reporters came up and said, "Are you going to be giving back all these things that have been stolen over the past couple of hundred years from
And
Africa?"
I can see the Europeans saying, give it back? Are you serious? We lost some men, we stole it, and now you want us to give it back? Who do we give it back to? Just cross the border and bring it back. I mean, I'm not a nice guy when it comes to that. You stole it, bring it back. But we're going to be talking some more about this natural resources that is just escaping Africa. It's leaving the country, the continent. We'll be right back.
If I set this place on fire,
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters all over the world. No matter where you are, it might be daytime, it may be nighttime, it might be nighttime, it might be in the afternoon. Wherever you are, welcome back to Let's Talk About It. One of the things that, we constantly have been noticing, it's been around for some time, but it seems to be highlighted now, more highlighted than it has been. I don't know if because of the political climate. I mean, like people say Donald Trump now knows what it is to be black. That's something that some folks are saying because he has now had a taste of injustice. He's been having pretty good, he's being whooped a lot. But now something that has been happening, the destabilization of the black family. Joel, it is something that is so critical. Mississippi have the largest number of black people in that state. Some 38% of the population of that state is from Mississippi.
Yes. It's a catastrophe, to put it mildly. I think what we're dealing with now is, if I get the statistic correctly, it's 8 out of every 10 births in the black community are to single mothers. We know statistically that in that portion of the population, that those children grow on to have problems throughout our society with crime and lower expectations in the educational system. So it's a crisis that is spun out of control, and the way that our elected representatives are choosing to deal with it is they are downgrading the expectations. Oh, well, we're going to lower a C grade down to 60% or 40% in some cases. The teachers are reporting that their grades are being changed from lower expectation or failing grades to reflect something that's not true. They're saying to us that our children are doing fine in school, when in fact Johnny still can't read. So it's a disaster.
It's a disaster. Yeah.
Where does this put us? I've worked in the business sector. Some of the kids are coming in and they're unable to make change. They're coming in with the smell of marijuana on their clothing.
Something we don't grow.
They can't interact with customers. So the preparation of students going from the education system, which is dysfunctional, they're now bringing in those lower expectations into the workforce, and the workforce isn't having it.
So when they're separating families, so many men and some women, many women, black men, black women, split, jailed. That's destabilizing an entire generation of families. That's making it, they're making a mockery. And something that you said, that kind of bothers me a lot is that the politicians, they seem to be turning a blind eye when it comes to the destabilization of the black family.
The black family is in trouble. As we all know, that's not a big shock, I think, to anyone. The problem is, now with the new immigration figures, Black America, which has traditionally been the number 2 population, is now moving down to 3 and possibly even 4. So by the end of this decade, those of us of African descent are going to be an irrelevant percentage of the population. What will the new majority, which will be of Latin heritage, what will be the negotiations or the discussions with us about our fair share?
And we're going to be talking more about that because it seems that the influx, the new, what do you call them? The new America, the new Americans that are now going to be number 3 or number 4 or number 2. We're being pushed back. But the new Americans that are coming in, they seem to have a greater leverage on economic prosperity than we have. So can we look into that, Joel, and really focus on our next segment and talk more about that?
Absolutely.
My brothers and my sisters, we have an awful lot to talk about. The destabilization of the family unit, black family unit, is killing us. That's enough. We'll be back.
I think we covered a lot today, very important, critical issues, things that can be uncomfortable. I think we need to address these. I think that I always am an optimist. I have found at least the black community worldwide to be resilient. I am concerned for our future because we have placed our future into the hands of those who are and consider themselves our competitors.
And we're just not going to tolerate so many things that are on the table for us to swallow and just go along with it. We're not going to continue to swallow anything that is given to us and say that it belongs to us. We're just not going to do that. And in this subject, in this studio, in this new harbor studio, we're going to talk about it. And that's how we feel about it.
Welcome to Peabody Bookshop Studio, where stories come alive and ideas thrive. I'm your host, Charles Lancaster. Join us in our vibrant community center where we explore tales in our podcast studio, share stories at the coffee house, and wander through the back pages of our coffee shop. Our podcast lineup includes History for Sale, uncovering the narratives of historic commercial real estate. Smart City 2030 propels us into the future of retail, while Urban Power sheds light on advancements in the global electrical grid. Electric Bluegrass takes us to the mountains. Our Environmental Film and Music Festival is a celebration of Celtic arts in North America. And it's all brought to you by Peabody Bookshop. We invite you to grab a coffee, find a cozy spot, and let your journey begin. We are your literary haven of community, culture, and connection to the arts.
We covered a lot today, very important, critical issues, things that can be uncomfortable. I think we need to address these. I think that I always am an optimist. I have found at least the Black community worldwide to be resilient. I am concerned for our future because we have placed our future into the hands of those who are and consider themselves our competitors.
And we're just not going to tolerate so many things that are on the table for us to swallow and just go along with it. We're not going to continue to swallow anything that is given to us and say that it belongs to us. We're just not going to do that. And in this subject, in this studio, in this new harbor studio, we're going to talk about it. And that's how we feel about it. God bless you. Until the next time.